All right, guys, I want to make a quick video, crypto video on this bloody, they're calling it Bloody Monday, which it kind of is a Bloody Monday. Market completely dumping because of tariffs. But interestingly, I think this is a positive. I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm kind of crazy, but this really hasn't affected me mentally at all. It's like I've been kind of laughing the whole time. One reason being, I'm noticing in these markets that, yeah, we're at $83,000 Bitcoin. Trump comes out, he says, we're doing the tariffs. I think he comes out like higher than expected. 40% tariffs on some of these countries. And the stock market just dumped on Friday, dumping today. Bitcoin, 83,000 down to, I think, like 75. Now we're almost back up to 80. I was listening to CNBC this morning, and like a little rumor came out. It was like the most little of a nugget of a rumor came out that Donald Trump was possibly pausing the tariffs for a few of these countries for a few months. Immediately, Bitcoin goes from 75,000 to 80,000. Now we're back down to 79. And the stock market goes from a 1,500 point loss down to a 500 point loss within 30 seconds. And that just goes to show how people don't want to be pulling out of these markets. People don't want to be in a bear market. Everybody's talking about a bear market right now. Everybody's talking about how a recession's coming. It's the end of the world. Oh, now we're only down 250 points. And like every time you look at it, it's a little bit different. But we're nowhere near what we were this morning. Everybody's talking about recession, bear market, it's over, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just thinking to myself, can't you see that people just want to be buying these stocks? People want to be in a bull market. They just don't want to be buying when there's all that uncertainty out there. But the minute we get some clarity with, okay, Trump might pause tariffs for 3 months, everything recovers. It's like an instant recovery. To me, that's extremely bullish. And you're already seeing that countries are now coming to the table. EU, I think Taiwan, like Canada, they're all coming to the table and they want to negotiate. So everything Trump's doing right now is working. And yeah, the U.S. stock market is dumping, but every stock market is dumping. And the United States being the top dog, it hurts. It definitely hurts, but it hurts the other countries a lot more. And they're desperate now to make a deal. And once we get a deal, we're getting $100,000 Bitcoin again. It's like it's going to happen. The minute it happens, we're getting $100,000 Bitcoin. I mean, it's not going to happen overnight, but we're going to go from 90,000, then 92, 95. I mean, and the stock market's going to, every loss we've had in the stock market over the last couple months is going to come back. And the way you can tell that is, like I just said, is like the minute there's a hint of, oh my God, I think Trump's going to pause. Oh my God, I think China's going to make a deal. You see the stock market come roaring back, and Bitcoin will pump $5,000 in 5 minutes, because that's what it did this morning. It pumped from 75 to 80 within 5 minutes. 5 minutes, guys. I'm not even kidding. 5 minutes. So that's what's going on. I'm not scared. I'm not making a lot of videos right now because I'm for one busy, and it's just like there's really not much to say. I mean, there's really no crypto news except for the tariffs, other than the crazy price action that we're getting right now. Play a little bit of Rand Neuner from this morning. Rand Neuner talking about how it's like pretty much just an orchestrated thing. I mean, this is kind of what has to happen. You have to crash not just the U.S. stock market. You have to crash the world stock market if you want to accomplish your mission.
This happened since the Great Depression. How are we doing right now? It is the third time that it's happened since the Great Depression, because here we are 4.4% down. This is a very, very, very big global market collapse, the likes of which we've seen very, very, very few times. The index wiped out nearly 10 trillion market cap since the February peak. In 2 days, the S&P tumbled 10.5%. Only 1987, 2001, 2008, and March 2020 saw 2 days of declines over 10%. So this is a massive, massive, massive market correction. No matter who you talk to, even the big hedge funds have gotten massive, massive market calls, margin calls. Internationally, as I said to you before, it's not enough to do this locally. You need to do this internationally. And specifically, what you need to do is you need to hurt the emerging market economies. Let me explain to you why. You need to make people so scared of stock markets that they get into such panic mode that they exit all risk. Where is the risk? Well, when there is a bull market and markets are running, people tend to go more towards the emerging markets and the smaller markets to try and look for outsized returns. It's the same as crypto investors. When there's a bull market, we tend to go to altcoins to try and get more outsized returns. In traditional markets, it's exactly the same thing. When markets are running, people get a whole lot more money and they become a lot more risk seeking. They're willing to take a lot more risk because they've got a lot more profits. And
Yeah, and that's exactly what's going on right now. People are flowing out of everything risky because these markets are all emotional. So people are getting out of Bitcoin. They're definitely getting out of alts. We can't argue with that. They're even getting out of the stock market and they're putting their money into bonds, things that are giving like 2 or 3% interest a year, but they don't have to worry about the volatility. That's where everybody's going right now. But the thing is, this is only short term. Once there's a deal made, everybody's going to flow right into the risk assets. Risk assets. Right now is probably the ideal time to be getting into the stock market and getting into crypto. I don't have a lot of extra money right now, so there's really not much for me to buy. But guys, I mean, this is just, you have to understand what Trump's trying to do. He's trying to push Jerome Powell into cutting rates. We know that. He already admitted every time Trump comes out on Truth Social, he's talking about Jerome Powell needs to cut rates. So we know that's what he's trying to do. The only way to get him to do that is by crashing the markets. You have to see past the emotion. You have to see past the short-term moves, and you have to look to the long-term. Now, yeah, it sucks because if this wasn't happening right now, we'd probably be in a full-blown bull market, $150,000 Bitcoin and all that stuff. But guys, this is about fixing America. And it's not about bringing, I was talking to somebody the other day. They're like, oh, you really think every manufacturing job is going to come back to Detroit, blah, blah. I'm like, no, I don't think every manufacturing job is going to come out to Detroit. I'm just looking for some free trade where, yeah, maybe we build the cars in Detroit, but maybe the parts are made in China or they're made in Mexico. But right now we're in complete deficit. We make nothing in this country. We need to start bringing at least a little bit back to America. And that's what Trump's trying to do. It's not about not trading anymore with China. We have to trade with China. We get cheap parts. With Mexico, it's about leveling the playing field just a little bit. Just think if Detroit opened up maybe a few more plants to make cars, or a chip manufacturer has already signed a deal to come in, NVIDIA or whoever it was, to start hiring Americans to make chips. Yeah, you're still making chips in Taiwan, you're still making chips in China, but can we at least have a little slice of the pie? Because right now we have absolutely nothing. And the problem with that is, and I'm just a blue collar guy and I can see it. When you come out of high school, if you don't want to go to college and you don't know what to do with yourself, back in the day, you could go to a trade school. Ford would come in and say, hey, we'll hire you at $30 an hour. We're going to give you 3 months of training, and then we're going to give you a job for life building Ford Escorts or whatever it is. Or a chip manufacturer would say, hey, come on in. You're out of high school. We're going to train you for 3 months. We're going to pay you $30 an hour, and you have a job for the rest of your life. That doesn't exist anymore. That's why you see the middle class now. They have nothing. They're driving Uber. They're doing DoorDash. There's no blue collar jobs. There's no manufacturing jobs in this country anymore. So all the blue collar people are like bankrupt. They're struggling. They have nothing. Especially if you're a blue collar person that just came out of high school and you're like, I don't want to go to college. Can't afford that. What am I going to do in my life? I guess I'm going to drive Uber. Whereas in the 1980s, you could go to Detroit, knock on the front door of Ford. Hey, give me a job. Okay, we're going to start you off putting windshield wipers on these cars. And then we'll give you some more training. And then in 10 years, you're making $50 an hour with a pension. That's what we're trying to do. So that's why none of this bothers me. As far as crypto, the timing's still fine. I really think, guys, by going into summer, we're going to be back to bull market. With Trump, anything can change in a dime. Trump could come out tomorrow and say, the countries all called me begging. They all called me begging, and we're making a deal right now with China, and we're making a deal with Mexico. And the next day, the market's going to shoot right back up to where it was before this crash, and Bitcoin is going to go right back to $93,000. So none of this bothers me. Honestly, I find it very interesting. I'm fascinated by the whole thing. I just love the way Trump does things. And I'm thinking about my kids. I'm thinking about the future of this country. You know, maybe my son's not the biggest academic in the world. Maybe, he's 8 years old right now. Maybe in 10 years when he graduates high school, he can get a job building Toyotas or Chevys or something like that, or building or working for a software manufacturer doing some sort of manufacturing job. So this isn't about me anymore. You have to think about the future of America and what's happened to this country. You have to look at what Trump's doing. All these immigrants came in. He's shipping them out. They were taking all the construction jobs. They were killing people, raping people. We're shipping all them out, and we're bringing manufacturing back in. All those manufacturing jobs aren't going to go to illegals because they're being shipped out. They're going to go to Americans. So I'm really, really excited, guys. And look, if you don't believe me, just look at these swings in the market. I mean, Bitcoin, 75,000, 80,000, 81,000, back to 75,000, 79,000, 77,000. The market's just looking for some stability right now. And I think it's going to get it. Probably within the next week, I think Trump's going to come out and basically make a deal with a lot of these countries. See what Rand Nooner's saying on Twitter. Funny how just as the market started to run, a new tariff threat to China. So basically, this is kind of interesting. The market bounced back, and I don't think Trump liked that. So then he comes out and he says, oh, no, now I think we're going to make tariffs even higher against China. You have to see what he's doing, guys. He's trying to keep the market down. It's the only way to force Jerome Powell to cutting interest rate or to cutting rates. And I was listening to CNBC this morning. So when we were dumping this morning on CNBC, they're all like, Jerome Powell has to come in and do something. He says he's not going to do anything, but he has to do something. It's his response. Like they're all freaking out. Like, oh, Jerome Powell has to come in. Trump is almost there at pushing Jerome Powell back to cutting these rates. So, guys, I think this is a good thing. Ignore the short-term volatility. If you got any money, now's the time to be buying some of these altcoins, even Bitcoin. Even if you don't like crypto, just buying some of these stocks. Like I said, I don't have a lot of extra money right now. Trying to sell my condo, that's a whole nother thing. Now I'm back to the drawing board on that one. So it's a whole thing. So I'm more concerned about that right now. As far as the crypto markets, I think, the minute Trump comes out and works out a deal, everything's coming back. Look, it's going to happen. And Trump's all about the stock market. So, and I think this hurts Trump. I think Trump doesn't like seeing what he's seeing in the stock market right now, but I think he knows it has to happen to bring these jobs back and to get Jerome Powell to do what he wants him to do. So I think he's like, my personal opinion is Trump's like, fuck it, we're just going to have a month of completely dumping stock market and crypto and everything so I can get what I want for this country. And that's it, guys. Not much going on. There's really no other crypto news as far as projects or anything like that. It's all the same shit. Another thing is, during COVID, this is kind of similar to what I saw during COVID. But the thing with COVID dump was we actually thought we had no idea what was going to happen. It wasn't a man-made caused dump. Where what was COVID going to do? Was it going to kill 1 billion people? Are we all going to die? Is the world over? Now, this is a dump that's similar to COVID, but we know how it's going to end. We know it's going to end with Trump making a deal. So it's all going to come back. It sucks. The bull market's been delayed a little bit. Alt season's certainly been delayed. The stock market, everything's been delayed. Everybody's kind of miserable right now, but unfortunately, this had to happen. We had to have this cleanse to build back America, and that's what it's all about, guys. That's what it's all about. All right, like and subscribe. Talk to you later.